And let's check this out. And then we're going to review it and see what's going on, right? Okay, here we go. Make sure the sound is okay. It's not going. 1 second there. Character reveal. It should go now. Okay, so if we go through this again, and then we're going to start stopping it and everything. So the first is we're going into, it's starting out with anime, kind of look, which is, also, really nice because they go back and forth between the graphics sort of intros and the anime ones. And we see somebody walking up, right? But it can't be Luke and Jamie because they're playing a game. And then that's such an iconic outfit for Terry Bogard, So missed it. With the baseball cap and his hair pulled back and everything, and he just, he looks great. Fatal Fury, and of course, Fatal Fury for Terry. 1991, okay, is what we're talking about here. Is 91 specifically for that, and KOF and everything else, all the things he's involved in. And everybody's pretty happy to see him. They're like, oh man, hey, what's going on here? There's the fan, and up there is Mai. And she is Fatal Fury 2, I believe 92. Yeah, Fatal Fury 2, 1992. Okay, so here we have Elena. And Elena was Street Fighter 3 New Generation, I believe in 97. 1997, yes. I like her new design. I think she looks really good. And this is something John picked out. This, if they're going to make a background for this is going to be a really good one. Because this is a callback to Elena being in Street Fighter 4. Sorry. This is a callback to Elena being in Street Fighter 4. And remember, there was the plane in the background. And sometimes it would either be Balrog or Vega standing inside the plane, the silver plane, and you could knock somebody into the wing. And it had the hippos and everything in the background, and the mercats, but there was a focus on the sun. And remember, it was like an eclipse. This is it. And he picked up on that. I was like, wow, that was one of my favorite backgrounds in Street Fighter 4. So this has got to be in Street Fighter 6. Especially the emphasis. You know, she's looking up and there's this eclipse going on. It's really nice. And then here, of course, they're showing Bison here, which we're going to get into all the details about him. Okay, so they're saying Bison is going to be released in summer, this summer. He's going to have gameplay footage released tomorrow. If they are releasing gameplay footage tomorrow, I believe that he's going to be playable within roughly 3 weeks, which would mean he would be viable for competition at EVO. Terry is going to be in the autumn time. Elena, Mai is winter, and Elena is in the spring. So, very, 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 very interesting for season 2 here. And of course, there's a big sale going on Street Fighter 6 right now. Hey there. CVS4. Oh, I did, John and I did a +8 just about like 2 hours ago for the release. So it's sort of like an Aki kind of thing. CVS4. Let me see here real quick. Yep, not pulling that up. There it is. Okay, wait a minute here. Versus SNK. CVS4 2021. I'm trolling. Yeah, Capcom versus SNK. I meant 3. I need a 3. What are we talking about? I meant 3. I'm kind of lost. Well, I mean, yeah, there have been other crossovers and everything, but we're trying to focus on the season 2. CVS I'm trying to remember the one that's highly competitive right now. It might be CVS4 or CVS2. I know I always hear, because I know Dr. B is really highly competitive with it. Yeah, CVS2. So wait 1 second here. Let's try to get back into this again. Let me look up the other video real quick. No. It's not pulling up. Okay. Let's just do this. Here he is. Okay, very good.
Battles to win for America's future.
All right. So here we're going to pull this over here. And then we're going to I don't know if we should, you know what? Let's not go into the Bison review just yet. Let's talk about the information we saw in this one first. So the first thing is that's very, very, very interesting is the fact that, if I can pull this up. Okay. Okay. Takashi Nishiyama. This is according to Wikipedia here. Takashi Nishiyama initially had worked at Capcom. He's a video game designer. And then he worked at SNK. And he's best known for developing Kung Fu Master, Street Fighter, Fatal Fury, and KOF, King of Fighters. They said he had started in 1982. And then he was invited to join Capcom by the founder, Kenzo Tsujiimoto. He joined Capcom and worked on Street Fighter, basically. He directed, along with Hiroshi Matsumoto, the original Street Fighter in 1987, and he created the Hadouken, which was inspired by the wave motion gun, an energy missile attack from the 1970s anime series Space Battleship Yamato. Then he left Capcom and did not work on Street Fighter II World Warrior, okay, because he left. He joined SNK, and he was invited to join there. And his project was the Neo Geo system, and he helped them develop that. He then created the Fatal Fury franchise, the spiritual successor to the original Street Fighter game, and also worked on the franchises of The Art of Fighting and King of Fighters, along with Metal Slug. And then he left SNK and created and founded his own gaming development company, Dimps, in 2000. So, with him having roots in Capcom and then roots in SNK, it's very interesting to see because he originally had come up and helped with the formulations of some of these characters. And what they're saying is that in the beginning, fight scene of Street Fighter 2, because remember, he was there. He was there, and then it was released. He helped in the creation of Joe, who's the blonde guy that's in the fist fight right before you start looking up the building. And you're looking up the building and you're looking up the building, and then it's a Street Fighter 2 sign up at the top when the music's going, right? At the arcade. Sorry, guys. My throat's like real dry. So, he originally wanted Joe to be the main character, the main hero of the Street Fighter franchise. But they went with Ryu. And Joe is in the intro. When Nishiyama left Capcom, and he was invited to join SNK, and he ended up going to SNK. He took the idea of Joe and he formulated it and made it come to be and created Terry Bogard. That is such a cool thing. And they're bringing it around, and they're bringing it around. And it's nice to see. It's good to see collaborations and things like this happen. This is the first external collaboration for Street Fighter 6. And of course, we've seen previous collaborations between Capcom and SNK before in the past. But, it's nice to see this happening here. So, we're seeing Terry Joe coming on back again, and Mai coming through, and it's nice. It's nice to see. Now, yeah, it's going to be very cool. It's going to be very cool. So, with that, and it wasn't that Jamie and Luke seemed like they were thrown off at all to see Terry and Mai. They were pretty much, hey, they were pretty cool with it. Elena, when they focused in on her, she seemed to be, in Africa. She was not near Metro City. She was there, and I think she was tending to a hippo that was there. I couldn't really see the front of it, but I'm happy to see her back. We're going to talk about her healing properties in comparison to what's going on with Bison right now a little further in the discussion. But I like the fact that, we have at this point, this is a canon, not old fashioned, but classic Street Fighter character at this point. Now, if Terry Joe would have been, not, a DLC crossover and, through, it could have been him, but we're holding the no, I was going to say no, that's not true, because we're going to be talking about Bison soon enough. It's good to see Lena come back. She came out in 1997, and some of her properties, very long limbs, great neutral game, a mix-up of highs and lows, capoeira style fighting. Um, and in Street Fighter 4, she was released later in the Street Fighter 4 game. And I said this in the video. I said, Chris G and Justin played Elena, and you know, everybody would keep you out, poke you, swipe, 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 get some damage, on a mix up. You don't know if she's going to go low, you don't know if she's going to go for an overhead, and then she would dash to the corner, do her healing, and then it was a battle of you trying to take damage from her safely because you don't want to go in too incredibly much while she's doing that, because then she'd throw something out, and you'd get caught on the way in. And it was also a battle against the clock, because the more that she would build up her gauge to be able to heal, the more that she was able to win the battle against the clock. And then you're trying so hard to get in against her and basically just shut her out of the game. It was very interesting. It was an interesting pressure tool, to be honest. The healing property there. Hi there. Yes, yeah, it's a good thing. It's a good thing for SNK. It absolutely is. Um, SNK doing some very, very big things in uh, a controlled amount of time here. City of the Wolves is going to be coming out the beginning of 2025. They're putting a lot of attention and publicity, towards that. It looks very good. They actually, I'm trying to remember if yeah, they did. They had a release information on it at the Summer Games Fest. I don't remember if it was before or after the Street Fighter information, but they had their information at the Summer Game Fest also. Yeah, and it had to have been in the first hour, because I would have remembered it around then. So good stuff for them. Um, Now, Bison is supposed to be released, they said, in the summertime, which, if he is released in the summer and they're having gameplay footage going tomorrow, then that would mean it's usually 3 weeks before a character is released. So I think that's pretty. It's really good opportunity for him to be released just in time for people to crack down and understand how Bison works and play him at Evo. Terry will be available in autumn time. Mai is in the winter. And Elena is in the spring. And I think she represents spring anyways. That's pretty cool that they have her in the spring. So let's take a look at the footage here for Bison. And this is going to be gameplay footage of Bison, which I have. Where? Here. Okay. Wrong one. That's not it. We just had it. Here. A bam. It keeps pulling up the other one. Why does that happen? That is very strange. Here. There it is. Huh. Okay. Oops. Okay, so this is the Bison footage. We have Dictator. Right, yes, we have Dictator in the game. And I'm going to switch it over so we can look at this. There we go. And it's not showing. To reveal. Huh, it's not showing it for some reason. I don't know why. Character reveal. Why isn't this showing? That's odd.
What constant? Marines.
It's not showing. Okay, that's odd. Not that. Not that. Okay, here we go. Audio. Make sure this works. This is the same thing. Wait a minute here. That is the same video. What happened to my other one that I had picked up? It was I had one picked out, and it was the Bison one. Okay, let's try. We're gonna have to go search for it again. YouTube. Wow, Bison reveal is not pulling up. F6. Bison. In-game treat.
They're the engine that powers our economy. Without them, our cars would be stuck in neutral. Our food would spoil, and our screens would go...
Skip. Okay, here we go. Boy, you just don't wanna... Okay. Okay. So here we go. Two Tekken characters. It may be. That's possible. It is. That's a possibility. Okay, let's take a look here and see what we can do. Switch this over to... We should say M.Bison. There it is. Very good. And this one here. M.Bison. There. Okay. Alright, here we go. Okay. Okay. Alright, what's up? This is the beginning of the specific footage for the Bison trailer. Oh, wait, I could probably make it clearer than that. I didn't think about that there. Oh, that's 1080. All right. Whoops. Okay, we were supposed to go back and look at that. Wait a second here. Okay, so let's go through it again. Yeah. Okay, so what are we seeing here initially? Well, in the first trailer, we saw Jamie and Luke were playing against each other. Then we saw Terry come in and Mai, right? And they are the newest characters to join in season 2. Then we saw Elena in there, but she's not with them. Okay, technically, right now we're just still back at the moment where Jamie and Luke are playing against each other. Terry and Mai are in the same building. They're looking at the TV. Bison's on the TV. So there he is. And now what they're showing is that they're saying, okay, look, we're going to switch from the more anime style and they're going to switch it into the gameplay graphic 3D cinematic version. This is the hidden laboratory from Street Fighter 4. They had a version of this in Street Fighter 5, another version of this in Street Fighter 6. The most recent DLC character, Ed, has this in his background also. And then bam, the first thing right in the center is the Shadaloo symbol right there. And if you look here, up in here, I believe the hands would have been up in there. And remember, if you're playing in Ed's background, and even if you're playing, it would have been Seth's background in Street Fighter 4. The hands kind of like in Street Fighter 4 was the yin yang symbol going around in that. And remember, that was in Seth. It falls. And I think what they're trying to say is that, because the further that you go along in Ed's scene in 6, it comes apart. So I'm thinking this is at that point where everything's, already down on the ground. So and what we're seeing too is that it's an emulating Psycho Power. Okay, so Psycho Power is coming out. And there's the hat. The hat's just going crazy. And the hat's glowing too, which is it's even crazier, And look at those restraints. And one of them's open, but the rest of them are down, okay? But the hat's there. And the hat's floating. And there go all the scared scientists are just going nuts. Okay, so we're seeing somebody with Psycho Power in their hand, and they have a military lapel that looks like, to me, the classic. It looks like, obviously a Shadaloo pin, but it reminds me of the Street Fighter the movie icon there a little bit. Okay, and then the boot. Oh, and a torn cape. Okay, here we go. So what we're seeing once again, we've got those industrial lug-looking shoes, and then the guards, shin guards, toe guards on the front of them again, and they're saying, okay, made out of metal, and obviously looks very heavy. There he goes. And he's going in for a super punch here. And Bison looks like he is freaking, out of control. He's got his belt on with the electricity symbol on it. And he does not look sickly at all. He looks very healthy and angry. Whereas Akuma looks a little older. Bison has longer whitish gray hair, but I'll tell you what, he's looking super ticked. He's doing a leaping punch. Could that big punch, not including the giant leap, be the psycho axe? Possibly. He has the psycho power on his fist, and he punches it into the... I'm thinking it's the thing that brought him back in the lab. And that's the top. That's the top of the unit in the fingers right there. And he's going, I have to destroy this thing. Possibly because he's thinking, you know what, I don't know if I want anybody else to be messing with this. He's ripped up a little bit. We're going to talk about why he was ripped up. He is mad, mad, mad. He's not putting up with it. So, the laboratory is ruined. And then he says, hey, guess what? I'm going to cause major havoc on everything. Drive Rush Psycho Crusher. That's going to be freaking lit. Oh my god. Very good. Very good. So there's a lot of good things there. Very good. Sagat's body. There. Okay, so people are... I have seen that going around. I do not think that's Sagat's body. I think that's not Sagat. I don't think that's Sagat's body. You know, now thinking about it, seeing that tattered cape, it made me stop for a second and think, you know, But this is all Akuma footage. Wait a second here. Wait a second. How do we go back? No. Shoot. Wait a minute. Yeah, that is, I believe that's all Bison. I can sort of see... No, that's Bison. Sagat's a lot more, I don't know what the word is for it. He's not as barrel-y. This is Bison. This is definitely Bison. Bison, OG, this is Bison, in my opinion. And, whoops. And, oh man. Poop. Yeah, especially here. In the thighs and the knee. Sagat's more... I don't want to say he's more lean, but his dimensions are longer. This is Bison. There's no way that's Sagat, or even a clone of Sagat, or a doll of Sagat or whatever. No, but I could see where everybody's coming from, because really, if you look at that hood and the cape and everything, But granted, he has worn capes and everything in the past that have gotten ripped to shreds. Um, and his face, Sagat's. That's not Sagat's face. I think it's a good theory that this is Bison. Not Bison in a Sagat form. Um, yeah. A haircut. His dead white eyes, his lips, his perma frown. Lips point down. Unless I'm mistaken. Bison. Terry, Mai, and Elena. Yes, yeah. There's some theories going around that because remember, if we're gonna get into this, Bison has a crazy history, and I try to iron it out as much as I could to how I could even sort of explain it. There is a theory that because his soul is out there, okay, and the psycho power, that he does inhabit other people's bodies, including the dolls, including Seth, and they could have made some sort of a Seth version of Sagat. Realistically, they could have. But that's Bison. That's definitely Bison. And if you ask me, he's like barrelly. He's more, stocky, built. That's Bison to me. There's not even a question. Let's look real quick into what the canon is for Street Fighter. So, generally speaking, I gotta take a freaking sip of tea for this one. Oh my god. Great. Wait a second. I still have a little bit of a sore throat. Oh, thank you so much. Fear to Puppet. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I appreciate it. Dang. I got some tea on my board here. My keyboard. Okay, so that was good. So basically, we're starting off with the first game is in the canon, Street Fighter 1987. So it goes Street Fighter 1987. What the heck? Then Street Fighter Alpha around 95. Then Street Fighter 2 around the 90s. Street Fighter 4 around 09. Street Fighter 5 around 16. Street Fighter 3 around 97. And then we're ending right now, current time, Street Fighter 6 2023. Okay? So, if that is the lineup of the games for what the lore is for Street Fighter series, in Alpha 3, Bison was trying to take advantage of Ryu, okay? Because Ryu was going back and forth with the Satsui no Hodo, right? And Bison said, hey, this is somebody that when my psycho power goes too much, instead of using a doll, instead of using Seth, instead of using whomever, I can just go to Ryu and say, you know what, this is it. And he has all this power and everything else, and this is fantastic for me. They end up, story goes through. They go back and forth and back and forth. Ryu hits Bison with a Metsu Shoryuken. Pow. Hits him. And rips him up. Charlie is alive. And he, to finish Bison off, ends up sacrificing himself. And he dies. Rose, who initially was a student and a disciple under Bison, she has the soul power. But the soul power is kind of like psycho power. And Bison, because they're so alike, uses her as a temporary vessel for him to escape because Ryu knocked him silly and ripped him up so bad, and Charlie just obliterated him, knocked him out. He's done, dead. He's gone. So he goes to Rose and basically possesses her. Okay. He then has Shadaloo make him a new body. And then he goes into the body as Shadaloo. Rose comes to and has mixed up memories on what happened with everything. So that happened in Alpha 3. Then Street Fighter 5. Oh, hey, thank you so much. Much Charles. Thank you. I appreciate that. We're going over the Bison lore a little bit. Street Fighter 5 happens. And Street Fighter 5 is after Street Fighter 3, 1997. Okay? Street Fighter 5. Ryu and... Okay, remember. Shadaloo makes Bison a new body. Ryu and Bison are at it again. Okay? And they're going back and forth and back and forth. Charlie is brought back to life, kind of like a Frankenstein, through the Illuminati. The Illuminati which Gil and Urian were born into. Okay? They revive Charlie Nash. Charlie has properties now where remember he would do this sort of like a command grab. He would hop over and he'd grab you and he'd push you down on the ground and he'd suck away, your life force and suck away your energy, basically, right? So what happens is he has the ability to pull properties, and Ryu and Bison are going at it, and Bison's dying again. So Charlie Nash goes and sucks the rest of the psycho power and life out of Bison, and then he dies again. He dies twice, killing the same man. But this time it's his Frankenstein version that dies. Bison comes back again in 6. But no Charlie Nash. So Charlie's out right now. And that's what's going on. That's how. Now we don't know who brought Bison back. But he's there. And what's interesting is he doesn't necessarily look like any of those Seth dolls that were standing in those glass containers or anything from the previous Street Fighter games or from the Street Fighter 6 version that it's Ed's background. He looks very bison-like. So it's going to be interesting to see. I want to see what his storyline is for all of this. But that is generally what's going on with the history of Bison as of right now to 6. The cleft chin, yeah, that's right, absolutely. John and I filmed a John and Kate +8 for the reveal. So I wore sort of like an Aki kind of thing. I don't have it on now because I'm still feeling sick, to be honest. And I get these hot flashes. I get these like, oh my god, just I get really overheated. So it's easier for me to breathe. I have the fan on back there too. But yes. Street Fighter 1 does need a remake. Yeah, that would be very cool. That would be very cool if they did. Whoops, if they did that. Oh, we lost it. So yeah, very interesting. Very interesting for Bison. And in general. Now, what does this mean for the cast? As in the cast that has been announced. So if we look at let's see here. If we look at, I think it's this one. I have to blow my nose. Paste. Should be this one here. Okay. Ah, missed it. All right. Sorry, guys. Oh, God. Ah. Sorry about that. So if we look at the layout of characters that we have right here, what are we seeing initially? We're seeing Street Fighter character, SNK character, Street Fighter character, SNK character, right? Or Street Fighter DLC crossover, Street Fighter DLC crossover. What else are we seeing? Street Fighter character here revived back from the dead multiple times. Okay? But using and abusing health properties season here. Another character from the Street Fighter series using health properties. This character, Elena, gives health and she heals and she brings things back to life. Now, Bison generally seen as what? Someone that destroys and kills and everything else. But he also has been brought back to life and has properties here showing that there is some sort of healing going on and health properties here, life-giving properties. I'm curious to see if there's a tie between Elena and Bison because of that, or if it's just some sort of an odd coincidence. that we have two characters here that, even though they're on two opposite sides of the coin, one's a very, good character, and then another character here that's just evil, very bad. But they're both serving the same purpose of giving life, giving healing and stuff, and they're both being released in season 2. This is not a random thing that they're in here together. There's something going on there with that. In addition to, I mean, clearly the fact that we have two SNK DLC characters here. So we know what the core is with them. But in addition to the fact that Terry was brought through, and Nishiyama with Joe had initially had the thought concept and everything for him back in 1987, right? So that's a very special thing. But very interesting. Very interesting. And deep with all of that. And now with me personally, from what I had seen online and going around, this was very, very, very surprising, because this is very planned out. What is going on here on the screen? It's just we don't have an idea of what the core is behind everybody here that's tying them even more together on why they're having this specific lineup. But there's a specific reason why they're having this lineup on the screen. As a side note to that, I was very, very, very surprised that they didn't want to release an independent character into 6, because their independent characters have been so good. Kimberly, great. Manon, Marissa, great characters. Jamie, JP, very Aki. Brand new characters to Street Fighter franchise. Fantastic original creations. And because I was sort of thinking every season we might see a new character, but they didn't want to do it. I was surprised by that, because every new character, they've just been knocking it out of the park. But it could be because, like I said, there's something going on here in the background, especially with these two. And now that we're really working in Terry and Mai into the Street Fighter, the core Street Fighter, 6 lore, something big's going to be going on, So, yeah, very, very exciting. Very exciting there. I'll try to catch up with you guys there. Psycho. Pretty stocky looking. A Psycho Crusher. A facial scar through his left eye. And his other eye is good. Yes, Sagat. The Psycho Crusher. I really feel that Sagat's measurements do not match the measurements of what we've just seen here. Chicky strips. Chick-fil-A, man. They are pretty good. Dang, I wish I could get rid of this thing here. Poop. I'm not seeing a super tall man here. I hate to say that, but I'm just not seeing it because of the camera angle. And he's looking at that chair like it's a throne, and he's looking at that hat. And that hat, if his eyesight's probably going here down, right